hard to fathom that God destroyed the earth with a great flood, as described in the Bible's book of Genesis. Here's why it happened. By the time Adam died, the earth had many people. As time went on, more and more people became wicked. In Genesis 6:5-7, God looked down and saw how wicked men had become, saying that every thought of man was evil, and only evil continually. He said, I will take away all men from the earth that I have made. Even during these bad times, God saw, according to Genesis 6:8-9, that there was one good man. His name was Noah. He said to Noah that the time had come when all men and women on the earth were to be destroyed, and that Noah and his family would be saved, because they alone were trying to do right. God told Noah what he needed to do to save himself and the lives of his sons and their wives. In Genesis 6:14, he explained to Noah that he was to build a very large boat with 3 stories, and it would be called an ark, to make it from cypress wood, with rooms in it with pitch inside and out. In Genesis 6:15, he gives Noah other specifications. The ark is to be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. It was also to include a roof opening of 1 cubit high all around, and that a door be built on one side of the ark. Genesis 6:17, God told Noah, I'm going to bring a great flood of water on the earth to cover all the land and to drown all the people on the earth. Later in verses 19-21, Noah was further instructed to make the ark large enough to hold a pair of every kind of animal. Also to take in the ark food for themselves and the animals, enough goods to last a year. Noah obeyed God, although it must have seemed very strange to all the people watching him build the ark. You see, there was no water for it to sail upon. No doubt they laughed at Noah and his sons, considering there was no sea. Bible scholars say it took the ark 50 to 75 years to be constructed. At last, it was finished, and it stood like a great house on the land. Then in Genesis 7:1-3, God told Noah to come into the ark, also his wife, 3 sons, and their wives, that they were to take all the animals, male and female, of all kinds, including birds, inside the ark also. Sure enough, in a few days the rain began to fall like never before. The heavens were open, and also fountains of the deep, so as to pour out great floods. Streams filled, rivers rose higher and higher, and the ark soon began to float on the water. The wicked people left their houses and tried to swim to the ark to enter. Eventually, some had to run up hills and mountains trying to escape, but there was nothing they could do. The people were drowned. After 40 days, the rain stopped, but the water didn't fully recede for more than 6 months. It's believed by many that the massive ship came to land at the top of Takte Solomon Mountain, which is translated to Solomon's throne, and is located in modern-day Iran. God had sent a wind to blow over the waters to dry them up. Noah and his family had lived in the ark a little more than a year. God finally said in Genesis 8:16-19, for Noah, his family, and all the living animals to come out of the ark. So Noah and his family came out with all the animals and stood upon the land again. The first thing Noah did was to build an altar to God for having saved them from the flood. God was pleased with Noah's offering. And God said to Noah, I establish my covenant with you to never again to destroy the earth with floodwaters. Then in Genesis 9:13-15, I have set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. It shall be, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the rainbow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant which is between me and you, and every living creature of all flesh. The water shall never again become a flood to destroy all flesh. So if you ever wonder what a beautiful rainbow is for, it's God reminding us He would never wipe out the earth with another flood. I mentioned earlier how many scholars think they've found the ark in Iran. The Bible Archaeology, Search and Exploration Institute, also known as Base Institute, claimed to have found a giant object on Takte Solomon Mountain. That could make sense because Scripture says Noah's ark traveled east. That would place it in Iran. Bob Cornuke is president of the Base Institute. He says the giant object they uncovered measures around 400 feet long. That fits the approximate dimensions of Noah's ark. Still others through the years think the ark was grounded on a mountain south of Mount Ararat in Turkey. This is H.A. Graves.